What are some of the guy secrets girls don't know about? Story 1. Most of the answers in this thread revolve around men are simple, men don't gossip, or men don't care about most things, etc., and that they are just nice, straightforward creatures. While this may be true for the majority, I do hope that guys reading this thread don't put this male simplicity on a pedestal. It doesn't make you less of a man if you don't experience that blank state of mind as often as the comments suggest men do, or if you are actually interested in your friends' lives and like the occasional light gossip, or if you care about where to go for dinner. You can worry about stuff and have strong opinions too. Story 2. The word dude has something like 150 different meanings, depending on how you say it. It's a genderless term and is applicable in almost any situation. Story 3. The closer we are with another dude, the trashier and worse we talk to each other, i.e., once a friend suffered an accident, small bruises in his arms, and the nicer text he got was, "You even suck at crashing a car." Story 4. If a guy goes out with other guys, chances are when he says they talked about nothing, they actually did talk about nothing interesting. No gossip, no how's the family. It just tends to be talking about some sort of shared interest or hobby and a lot of banter. And when you ask him, I can almost guarantee that he remembers almost none of the content of the 5-hour conversation they've been having. Story 5. I think it's not often addressed that guys, just like girls, also deal with their fair share of insecurities, body dysmorphia, and pressures from society to act and look a certain way. It's just that openly talking about it and dealing with these emotions is more shameful and less accepted. Story 6. We get boners all the time. And no, most of them are not sexual boners. We just get them. Randomly waking up at night? With a boner, of course. Waiting in the waiting room for your doctor's appointment? Boom. Boner. Middle of a serious office meeting? Boner out of nowhere. It's not always sexual, and when we get in the kinky mood, we can't think of anything else before calming the horse. Story 7. We're scared to break down. Sometimes when it feels like the whole world is on your shoulders, it's scarier to think what would happen if you ask for help and no one knew what to do, rather than asking for help at all. I miss being a kid. Story 8. We don't pick up on subtle hints that you are interested in us. If you want to get a guy's attention, you pretty much have to either hit him over the head or strip right in front of him and rub yourself all over him. Story 9. Wife. Why didn't you tell me Jeff was having a baby? Me. Oh yeah, I forgot. Wife. When did he tell you? Me. Shrug. A few months ago or so? Wife. I don't know how you don't tell me these things immediately. Me. We probably started talking about how strong gorillas are and I forgot. Mostly nothing is that important to us. Except how strong gorillas are. That shit is crazy. Story 10. If we randomly surprise you with flowers or some gift for no reason, it does not mean there is an ulterior motive or that we are trying to get forgiveness for something. So when you make a big deal and try to roast us with questioning or say things like, wow, why can't you be more like this more often? All you're doing is sending the signal to the man's brain, do not do the thing again that brings her suspicion on you. Besides, we know if it becomes expected, then it becomes a chore and we are treated as some sort of a failure when we don't do it. Yep. If I buy my partner flowers on my lunch break and take them back to work, I always get asked, what have you done? By female colleagues, followed by light taking. Reality is that sometimes I walk past a florist or see some in a shop and think, oh, I haven't bought any of those for a while, so I get them as a nice surprise. Story 11. If you come to our house and the bathroom is spotless, including the sides and area around the back of the toilet, you can rest assured that you are well liked and high in the Pantheon rankings. If the bathroom is half-assed, you are low-ranked and just passing through. Story 12. Might be too late, but guys really enjoy side-by-side time. A lot of people have already brought this up, so I'm really just putting a name on it. It took a while for my wife to figure it out, but side-by-side time is when you are engaged in an activity with someone else, but not necessarily talking to them. You bond through the shared experience of the activity, not by talking to each other. This is why so many guys reminisce about shared experiences and tell stories about things they did together. I also happen to think that side-by-side time is why guys like games so much. I play online with my friends frequently, and we rarely get past "how are you" in terms of personal chat, but we all love it. Same goes for watching sports, playing board games, other hobbies and stuff. So, if you really want to impress your husband or boyfriend, intentionally have side-by-side time with him. Pick an activity or hobby that he enjoys and just do it with him. Don't ask him if he's enjoying himself or what he's thinking. If you have to, literally just sit next to him on the couch and watch the game with him. If he's comfortable with it, quietly watch him build his computer or ask him how it works. Keep the conversation about the activity. Avoid asking him how he's doing unless he brings it up. Literally just be there with him. Sit and be there while he cleans his gun, or just read a book in the same room he's reading in. Total side note, especially for women who are married to an introvert. If you really want to have a conversation, ask your husband or boyfriend about something they're interested in or enjoy. Point being, guys, and introverts in general, find it 10 times easier to talk about something rather than themselves. Ask a guy how his day is? Fine. Ask a guy to explain something about his favorite hobby? You will be there for hours. This is a generalization, but I think there's some truth in it. I think women tend to bond through verbal communication, and they get worried or nervous to just be there with their partner side by side because they aren't actually doing anything. But guys see that as bonding and caring. I legitimately use this doing youth work. Can't get a young guy talking? Go fishing, play video games, or kick a ball. They will spill their guts about feeling abandoned by their parents. The indirect interaction is less intimidating and works around the perception that men don't talk about their feelings because you aren't talking, you're kicking a ball and just happen to be talking. Story 13. We put our hands in our jean pockets to scratch our balls properly. We also pretend that we're pulling out a phone or keys 10 seconds after to hide the fact in question. Story 14. When we tell you we're trying to lose weight, we aren't asking you to compliment our bodies. We're bringing it up because our uncles have quadruple bypasses and the doctor told us we have high blood pressure. Story 15. I love showering my boyfriend with compliments. Also, whenever he gets out of the shower, I always catcall and whistle at him. I didn't do it a couple weeks ago because I wasn't paying attention. After he got dressed, he came and sat next to me and asked if I was okay. I said, yeah, why? He said I didn't whistle at him and thought I must be mad. I said no, but he looked a little sad. I asked if he liked it when I did it. He sheepishly smiled and said, yeah, it makes me feel really good. It made me happy that such a silly thing made him feel good about himself. Now he comes out and strikes a pose, and I yell and go wild. I love him. Story 16. There usually isn't a meaning behind how we act. Take it at face value for what it is. Drives me insane that my wife and her friend overanalyze every little comment or text about the guys her friend dates. If he's an asshole, he's an asshole. My girlfriend likes to remind me that I left before she woke up the morning after we slept together for the first time. After she got up, she invited her friends over, and they spent brunch analyzing my intentions, and it was decided I was just in it for a banging and would not be calling her again. That was 4 years ago. Story 17. When you ask, does this outfit look nice? And we say yes to all 13 of them, it's not that we're lying. It's usually that we don't care what you wear. Other people are better at conveying messages. So to specify, by don't care, I mean I have no idea about fashion and you look great no matter what. Story 18. We will open the hood of the car and stare at the engine even if we have no clue where that noise is coming from or what it means. After a couple minutes of that, we'll announce that it might be a random part we remember the name of and it should be checked out by a mechanic. Story 19. Guys don't like the chase. That doesn't mean you need to be easy, but girls who play hard to get and will blow a guy off and ignore him and shit because guys love the challenge, all you're doing is probably pissing him off and making him less interested. Happened to me some years ago. Friend's friend was quite interested in me, but showed no interest on the surface. We'll call my friend Stacy and her friend Ashley. Stacy said, Ashley thinks you're attractive, while other friends said, nah, she said she wanted to the shit out of you. I played the game a bit, waited for her to show any interest. Hugs from her would be that ass out one-arm side hug thing. Anytime our friends would try to leave us alone, Ashley would follow Stacy like a lost puppy, and I'd end up hanging out with Stacy's boyfriend. He was a cool person. I ended up saying fuck it when another girl showed legitimate interest. Ashley went crazy that I got with another girl, blocked me on Facebook, and started slamming me left and right, all because she seemingly wouldn't give me the time of day. I still don't understand. Story 20. The Nothing Box. It does exist, and I open it and leave it open often. It allows me to literally not think. There's also the battle box where I daydream space, naval, land, air, whatever battles. Guns, explosions, star destroyers blasting pathetic rebel scum. My own personal cinema. For the Empire. Story 21. When guys hang out, all we do is hang out. No gossip involved, usually. If I'm spending the night at a buddy's house playing LAN, that's all we're doing. We aren't talking about what happened at school, work, etc. Story 22. When you ask us to do something difficult for you, open a jar, fix a thing, move something heavy, drive a long distance, etc., and we seem to struggle, don't stop us. At that point, we have to get it done. Let us slay the dragon for you, and for us. The exception is finding stuff. You lost your phone? You'll most likely find it. I have no idea where it is, and I'd rather be fixing something. Story 23. We are suckers for compliments. Most attractive women receive compliments on a regular basis, even if they don't want it. Most men never get complimented on their looks or style. This makes it so much more precious when it does happen, and it means a lot. Story 24. Sometimes men can be emotional too. It does hurt when a girl leads you on, and it does hurt when she doesn't tell you the truth. A lot of girls try to play it off as something a guy just has to take, but it can actually affect us. Was on my way to a first date last night and was within sight of the bar, and the girl ended up standing me up by just unmatching me on Tinder 5 minutes before we were supposed to meet. Never said anything. We have feelings too, ladies. That shit hurts. Story 25. You know the meme with a couple facing opposite sides? Yeah, well, it's accurate as fuck. 99% of the time, when you think we're having some thoughts about really deep issues or cheating on you, we're just thinking about random shit like, do bald guys shampoo their heads or just use regular soap? So stop worrying. Story 26. We can come home from a long day at work and be perfectly happy sitting quietly, not speaking a word at home, watching TV or eating dinner with you. We're not mad or upset at you. That's just the way we are. Story 27. Every man on earth is your bro unless proven otherwise. I was hanging out with my friends where one of them said, "I think you got taller." I then walked up to a random guy in a restaurant and said, "Let's ask my longtime best friend." He looked up from his phone and said, "Yeah, man, you look taller." Then looked at my friends and said, "We go way back." Never met the dude in my life. Never saw him again. Bless you, guy in scrubs in the line at Cane's. Story 28. Men don't give each other compliments, but we extract positives from insults. If I call a friend ugly, I don't think he's ugly, because if he was, I might actually hit an insecurity instead of something he can just bounce back to me. Story 29. That time I pulled over on the side of the road and walked into the bushes to pee. I broke down and cried. I collected myself and came back to the car like nothing happened. And I will never speak of it to anyone. Men break all the time. Men express emotions all the time. We lose confidence and fold. But more than likely, you will never see that happen, because to some men, the only thing worse than losing your shit is publicly losing your shit. Women don't seem to suffer from this particular affliction. Men are often viewed as cold, robotic, or without emotional maturity, when in fact, we just can't let the tribe see us break. Story 30. It shouldn't be a secret, but man, we have zero interest in third-party drama. I have work and a family. That's stressful enough. I don't want to even give the slightest opinion or advice that'll get me or you, which means me anyways, involved. Story 31. We rarely discuss our sex lives with other men. The most we are likely to say is, "Yeah, we banged," if it's a one-time thing, and nothing if we are in a relationship. Never go into detail. It's doing each other a favor, because we know the other person doesn't want to hear that shit. Story 32. If it doesn't need to be done right now, I probably won't do it right now. I still said I'd do it, so stop pestering me. That makes me want to do it even less. Story 33. Men are physical communicators, while women are verbal communicators. A silent hug from us is worth a conversation and a half of comfort in our minds. And it's a secret, because we probably never told you. Story 34. We see most of the hints that you girls give off. However, we choose to ignore them mainly for one of two reasons. Sometimes it's because you're not completely sure that it's a sign of interest, because your hints are too damn vague, and we don't want to risk it, or sometimes we're tired of all of the immature games, and we want you to be direct. If you can't be direct, then you can only blame yourself for nothing happening, or you're not interesting or attractive enough to make us want to wade through all of the hint nonsense again. Or sometimes we're just not interested at all and don't want to make a big deal about it. Story 35. When women want you to do something. Mom: well, your sister is going here and your other sister is going here, but your dad is going here and needs to be there at this time, and they all have to be dropped off at this time, so he can't do it, and I'll be here for now, but then I won't be because... when all I need to hear is, I need you to drop your sister off at this place at this time. We can't process your brain being spewed out 2 miles a minute. We just want to know our part. I will let you tell your whole explanation because I know you're just getting it to make sense in your head. But when you're done, I need the simplified version. Story 36. I don't have an opinion about what clothes you wear or how you style your hair. I help my wife fold laundry, so I see pretty much her entire wardrobe on a regular basis. But if she asks me what I think she should wear somewhere, I literally cannot visualize any of her clothes to come up with a recommendation. The other night, she's asking me if she should grow out her bangs or keep them. Which do I prefer? I said that I didn't have a preference. She kept pushing me to decide one way or the other. I finally said, with bangs. Then she wants my reasoning. Because I had to choose one to get you to leave me alone? Story 37. Okay, here's the big one. You wake up in the morning. You roll out of bed and fumble your way to the kitchen to pour yourself some cereal or make coffee, but you're out of milk. You throw on whatever clothes you have to in order to not break the law or freeze to death. Then you stumble down the road and into the nearest shop for milk. Then you return home and eat your cereal. At no point do you give a single shit about what you look like or what people think about what you look like, because if they actually care, they're an asshole, and you don't have to care about them. And that's the secret to male confidence. Story 38. You're used to being treated with more deference than men treat each other. In an everyday context, men go out of their way to be polite to women, especially women they're attracted to. So what you think of as rude behavior sometimes is just how men treat each other by default. When I want to criticize a male peer's ideas, I'm free to go, that's stupid. When I want to criticize a female peer's ideas, I can sometimes do the same, but I have to be more careful because of the risk she'll take it the wrong way. It's like walking on eggshells with some people, and it makes communication very challenging. Because of this, sometimes a request for honest communication feels like a trap, since what I would consider honest is what she'd consider needlessly rude. Other times, when dealing with women who are aware of this dilemma, it actually is one. From our perspective, there's no way to tell the difference. Story 39. If you're even reasonably attractive and spend time regularly around us, we've probably thought about f***ing you at some point. Doesn't mean we'll act on it or that we even want a relationship, but the thought has probably crossed our minds. Story 40. When my day is going okay, that doesn't mean it's a bad thing and you have to apologize. It just means it's going like a regular old day, aka according to plan. There's nothing exciting about it, and there's nothing to be sad or mad about. Story 41. The way to a man's heart is through his stomach, or give him a blowjob and make him a sandwich, are not jokes or stereotypes. Bringing a man food immediately after sex is one of the hottest, most loving things you can do. I imagine this goes for women too. There's something animalistic about it that I can't describe. Just be aware that if we have great sex and you feed me before the endorphins wear off, my life is yours. That 650-pound saber-toothed tiger that has been harassing your village? Hand me my rock on a stick, woman.